My family laughed at my modest little wedding and refused to come until Instagram showed them my ceremony on a luxury yacht in Dubai. Watching them beg for explanations in the comments while everyone else read their previous scorn was my perfect revenge. It all started when I arrived excitedly at the family home with the invitations. They weren't extravagant, but we had made them with love. My mother looked at one as if I'd handed her a pizza flyer. "Are you serious? All this, so simple?" She tossed the invitation onto the table as if it disgusted her. What a shame. My brother, Ryan, snatched it and showed it to his girlfriend, holding back laughter. "Look, my sister Emma is having her grand wedding here. Isn't it picturesque?" His girlfriend covered her mouth, feigning pity. "Oh no, how sad." My father didn't even turn around. "Don't count on me. I'm not going to make a fool of myself." "But Dad," I started. "No buts," he cut me off. "That's not a wedding. It's a neighborhood block party." Just then, my Aunt Susan walked in, as if the universe needed an additional chorus of mockery. "What are you talking about?" she asked. "Emma's little wedding," my mother said with contempt, as if it pained her to say the word wedding. "Oh yes," Susan replied. "My friend already told me. She says it's such a pity she settled for so little." Ryan let out a loud laugh. "They're going to think we've run out of money or something worse." Deep down, I'd sensed this would happen. I didn't expect a standing ovation, but hearing it from their mouths, so raw and unfiltered, was like a slap in slow motion. As I put away the crumpled invitation, something broke, or maybe something hardened inside me. They would see who really had the miserable wedding. I didn't sleep that night. My family's words replayed like a song, but it wasn't just that afternoon. It was an echo, the final verse of a cruel opera I'd been listening to my whole life. Sitting in the darkness of the kitchen, the humiliation over the invitation dissolved into a carousel of sour memories. At 19, I introduced them to my first boyfriend, an incredibly sweet guy who worked as a mechanic to pay for his studies. I remember my mother's frozen smile and her later comment in private, "Darling, love is nice, but it doesn't pay the bills at a garage. Aim higher." At 23, when I announced I was leaving the law degree my father chose for me to pursue my passion for graphic design, he didn't even look at me. "So much investment in your education for you to end up making little drawings. What a disappointment." And the constant comparison to Ryan. His promotions at a marketing firm were celebrated with expensive dinners. His new cars were a source of family pride. When I sold my first piece to an independent gallery, Ryan joked at Christmas dinner, "Well, at least it pays the rent." There are levels to everything, right? The same phrase he used a few days ago. It was always the same, worth measured in money, status over affection, appearances over happiness. This wasn't about a wedding. It never was. It was about me, choosing a path they couldn't brag about at their social club. The kitchen clock struck 3 a.m. The weight of a lifetime of slights settled in my chest. That's when I told my fiancé, Michael, everything, not just about the invitation, but about the mechanic boyfriend, my career, Ryan, word for word, including the pauses. "My father said you would leave me in ruins," I told him, my voice breaking. I saw his jaw tighten. "That's not the worst part," I whispered. "My sister Chloe already told the whole family they're not coming, so no one gets their hopes up." He was quiet for a long time, then took my hands with a calmness that surprised me. "I have to confess something to you. My family isn't what you think." A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" "My father doesn't just sell furniture. That's his hobby, a small side business. He actually owns a real estate development company that builds luxury resorts and hotels worldwide. We've worked with international investors for years, but he always told me to keep that private here. People will treat you differently if they know you have money," he'd say. I was speechless. "Are you kidding me?" "Not at all. And my mom isn't a housewife. She's an architect with contacts all over the world." He ran his hands through his hair. "When I tell them what your family did to you, they'll want a money show. We'll give them the show of their lives." The next day, we went to his parents' house. They'd always treated me like a daughter, but this time, when I told them what happened, I saw something protective, personal in their eyes. "I can't believe they said such things to you," my father-in-law said with a calmness that gave me goosebumps. "Anyone who messes with the woman my son loves messes with us. What do you need for those people to eat their words?" My mother-in-law stood, grabbed her tablet, and typed rapidly. "They're going to eat their words. This will be the wedding of the year." She called her assistant in Dubai. "I need you to book the yacht for a private ceremony. Yes, the 200-foot one. And contact the photographer who worked with the Al Rashids." While we planned, my mother sent me a WhatsApp article about how women suffer when marrying someone of lower status. The message read, "Something for you to reflect on. My mother-in-law muttered, "These people have no shame," looking at it as if she couldn't believe what she read. That afternoon, we analyzed my family's Instagram profiles. My mother-in-law took notes like a detective in a noir novel. "Your sister Chloe is obsessed with brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, always tagging stores. Your mom brags about her Cancun vacations like it's Paris," she laughed. "And your dad? His newest car is a 2018 BMW, and he posts it like it's a Lamborghini. They're just posturing," my father-in-law concluded. "People secure in their position don't need to show off so much." My mother-in-law created a private Instagram account, adding 3 distant cousins and 2 work acquaintances. "The gossip has to filter out naturally," she explained. "If we add too many people, it'll be suspicious." 3 days later, Ryan posted photos from a weekend at a local resort, captioning, "Enjoying the good things in life. There are levels to everything." I showed the screen to my mother-in-law. "Perfect. Now we know we're on their minds." As a test, we bought a Hermes bag and a Rolex watch. My mother-in-law took casual photos of me at an elegant cafe and posted them to our private account with the caption, "Coffee dates before the preparations." The next day, a cousin commented, "What a beautiful bag." That night, Susan texted me, "My dear, I hear you're buying expensive things. Wouldn't it be better to save for a house?" My mother-in-law burst out laughing. "The gossips reached your family. I bet they have a WhatsApp group talking about your lavish lifestyle." She wasn't wrong. My cousin later told me someone in the family chat wrote, "They're spending what they don't have. They'll be in debt before their first anniversary." The bait worked, I told my mother-in-law. "Now comes the fun part," she replied, showing me her phone contacts. "Every luxury wedding needs witnesses. Lots of witnesses." She started making calls in Arabic. My father-in-law spoke in English with someone in London. Michael translated bits: royal wedding photographer, flowers from the same place as the Prime Minister's daughter's wedding, a band that plays at the Burj Al Arab. "Isn't this too much?" I asked, half laughing, half trembling. "Love," Michael said, taking my face in his hands, "my family has spent 20 years building palaces for people who spend in one night what your family earns in a year. This isn't too much. You deserve this and more." My mother-in-law finished a call and smiled. "Done. Your family wanted a decent wedding. They'll have to eat their words when they see what a truly decent wedding looks like." That night, I checked our private account and saw Chloe had tried to follow from a fake account. My mother-in-law rejected the request without blinking. "Let them die of curiosity," she said. "The desperation will drive them crazy, and when they see the real photos," she paused, smiling in a way that gave me chills, "they'll understand the true meaning of miserable." When we boarded the plane to Dubai, it wasn't a simple trip, it was a strategic deployment. First class, champagne served before takeoff. I posted a story of the glass, label facing the camera, my hand with the ring visible, and an airplane emoji. Nothing more. Just the first piece of bait. At Dubai's international airport, a chauffeur in a crisp dark gray suit greeted us with a tablet displaying our names. I didn't record that. I waited until we reached the hotel, not where we were staying, but the one my in-laws helped build 5 years ago, their name engraved on a marble wall. A discreet photo of the lobby, my silhouette with a view of the Burj Khalifa from the room, and a message on close friends. Sometimes life has a way of settling scores. We knew someone would leak those stories. It was only a matter of time. The first day was for acclimating. We walked through the mall with my mother-in-law's designer, who had dress fittings ready. We bought casual jewelry. My mother-in-law posted photos of me from her private account, knowing who was following and what comments they'd expect. Day 2, a yacht trip along the coast, no ceremony yet. The yacht, owned by my father-in-law's partner, was 200 feet, its deck white as snow, opulent without being vulgar. I posted a photo of the skyline from the water at night, soft lights reflecting on the sea, captioned, "A modest view to start our life together." Someone, I don't know who, took a screenshot. 30 minutes later, Ryan commented from his account, "Did you win the lottery or what? Be careful with debt, little sister." I read it while getting my nails done and didn't reply. I showed it to my mother-in-law. "Perfect. They're biting," she said. My mother wasn't far behind, commenting on another photo of me and Michael at a restaurant. "Daughter, I hope you're being prudent. Love doesn't pay credit cards." We looked at each other and burst out laughing. They didn't know it, but they were engineering their own downfall. Day 3, we intensified. We posted a carousel of pre-wedding prep photos, professional makeup, close-ups of haute couture fabrics, a view from the suite where the dress hung on a gold hanger. In one, a glass of champagne was visible in my hand, the ring sparkling. We posted another of our hands intertwined, his Patek Philippe watch, my ring. The text was surgical, "Marrying the richest man I know in values, in spirit, and, as it turns out, in everything else too. Thank you for teaching me what true worth is. A cousin's comment came quickly, is this the same Michael everyone thought sold chairs? Another replied, bro, Google his full name. Someone did and shared it, a Forbes article, Michael, last name, the silent architect of luxury hospitality in the Middle East. Another, founder of the Green Humanity Foundation, multi-million-dollar donations, awarded in Geneva. Those links hit the family group chat. Screenshot after screenshot. Someone sent his LinkedIn profile. Then silence. The family chat, a machine of comments, theories, and contempt disguised as gossip, went mute for 15 minutes. No emoji, no wow, no congratulations, just the weight of their pride collapsing in real time. Then came the cleanup. I watched as comments from my mother, Ryan, and Susan disappeared. They deleted everything, as if that could undo the story. Day 4, the big day. The ceremony was on the yacht's deck at sunset. Few guests, Michael's parents, 2 close family partners, a few friends, all chosen with precision, each with a social media presence and high-profile followers, part of the plan. The ceremony was intimate, perfect, without unnecessary extravagance but with impeccable details, white flowers, soft live music, a violinist playing as I walked toward him. My dress floated in the wind. When we said I do, there was no exaggerated ovation, just shared, natural smiles. Then came the star post, a photo on the deck just after sunset, me in the dress, Michael in his suit, embracing with warm lights in the background. We published it with the phrase, "Thank you for joining us in this new chapter." It wasn't a common wedding, it was unique, intimate, unforgettable. Below it, a second photo, us with his parents. The caption was direct, infinitely grateful to my new parents for making our dream wedding a reality. Family is who chooses to be there for you. I tagged my father-in-law. His profile was private, but his name was circulating. Then the panic began. First, a text from my father, "What is all this? Are you humiliating us? Where did you get that money?" Then my mother, "Why didn't you tell us you were doing something like this? You left us out on purpose." Then Chloe, via a voice message I still have saved, "I think it's horrible that you exposed us like this. People are asking if we're poor. Is that what you wanted?" I didn't respond. The BST part came next. My parents' friends, who don't even follow me, commented publicly on my photos, "How beautiful. I didn't know your daughter married Michael. Congratulations. We went to an opening of one of his hotels in Qatar. Wonderful people." Their masks fell in front of their social circle. They could no longer pretend they were above anyone. They looked resentful, ignorant, the ones who failed to see. Then, the final nail, the real. 40 seconds, like a movie, drone shots of the yacht's bow, white flowers falling as I walked, champagne served, the final kiss, the night view, all professionally edited. The views skyrocketed. One of my father's friends shared it on Facebook, captioning, "When love and elegance combine, things like this happen. Congratulations to the family," tagging my father. It was the ultimate public humiliation. Their attempts at control slipped away. My family sent audios one after another, "Honey, we need to talk. We could celebrate something here, right? We can have a second, more informal celebration with everyone." One said, "Grandma's asking why she wasn't invited." I watched the notifications roll in. My mother-in-law said it best as we drank tea on the hotel terrace, "Sometimes the best revenge isn't to destroy anyone. It's to show them what they lost by being so arrogant." She was right. The tension was at its peak, the masks off, the truth public. Best of all, I hadn't said a thing. I just showed the reality they'd always denied. They dug their own social grave. I turned on the light. A week after returning from Dubai, the doorbell rang at 7 p.m. Michael went to open it. I heard them before I saw them, the falsely cheerful voices, the cloying tone they'd never used with me. "How great to see you, son," my father said with manufactured warmth that turned my stomach. Michael called from the entrance, "Love, your family's here to visit." I walked down the stairs and saw them, my father with a smile that seemed to hurt him, my mother carrying an expensive gift bag, Ryan nervously playing with his car keys. Their eyes barely grazed me before locking onto Michael, as if he were the only important thing in the room. "We brought some gifts," my mother said, pulling a Chanel bag from the larger bag. "For you, my daughter." She extended it without looking at me, as if it were a formality before getting to important business. My father offered Michael a box of Cuban cigars, to celebrate. "I knew you had the makings of a champion from day one," he said. I stood there, invisible, the woman they'd humiliated, ignored by the people who raised me. Ryan hadn't even greeted me, his eyes following Michael like he was a celebrity. "Sit down," Michael said with a calmness that sent shivers down my spine. "But I want my wife present for this entire conversation." It's my turn to defend her. They settled in the living room. My mother addressed only him. We wanted to get to know you better. Please excuse us if we didn't give you the welcome you deserved. My father laughed nervously. It's just that sometimes one misjudges a person's character, but it's clear you're a man of the world. Ryan, unable to stay quiet, jumped in. In fact, I have an incredible business idea, apps for luxury hotels. With your experience and my technical knowledge. Michael let them talk, let them make their calculations, their proposals, their desperate attempts to co-opt him. I felt like a ghost in my own home, watching my family behave as they never had with me. Then my mother did something that broke my heart. She took out my grandfather's watch, the watch I'd asked for so many times, the one they denied me because, according to her, your future isn't secure. We wanted to give you this, she said to Michael. It's a family heirloom. You've proven you know how to value important things. That's when something snapped. 20 years asking for that watch, 20 years being told I wasn't ready, that I wouldn't take care of it. And now they were giving it to him, like a bribe. Michael spoke, his voice calm but glacial. Let me see if I understand. He looked at Ryan. A month ago, I was your sister's charity project, right? Ryan turned red. That was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Michael leaned forward. How do you misinterpret enjoying the good things in life? There are levels to everything. He turned to my father. And you? You said I was going to drag your daughter into mediocrity, that when I left her in ruins, she shouldn't come crying to you. My father tried to interrupt. Look, son. I'm not your son. The coldness in his voice could have frozen the air. And you? He looked at my mother. You said our wedding was so embarrassing it didn't deserve your presence. My mother stammered. It was a misunderstanding. We were worried about her. Worried? Michael stood. Do you know the most pathetic part? I haven't changed. I'm the same man you met. The only difference is you now know my father has a bigger bank account than yours. Your problem was never my wallet. Your problem was that you measured your daughter's worth by the man she married. When you thought that man had no money, you decided she was worthless too. I saw Ryan swallow hard. My father stared at the floor. My mother fidgeted nervously. But this is what you'll never forgive yourselves for, Michael continued, taking my hand. The biggest insult wasn't to me. It was to her. You told your own daughter her love was worthless, her happiness an embarrassment, her wedding miserable. An extraordinary woman who loved you unconditionally, and you treated her like trash because you thought she was marrying someone poor. Do you know what that says about you as people? My mother tried to speak. We love her. No, Michael cut her off. You loved her conditionally, depending on how much money her husband had. That's not love. That's convenience. He walked to the door. The only family I see in this room is her. The watch stays here. The gifts too. And you will leave now. My father stood, stumbling. You can't throw us out like this. We're her family. Family? Michael looked at him with contempt. Where was that family when she needed your support, when she was crying because the people she loved humiliated her on the most important day of her life? Ryan tried one last play. We can start over. Forget all this. Like you forgot your sister when you thought it wasn't convenient for you? Michael opened the door. No. Some wounds aren't forgotten. Some wounds are remembered forever. He watched them leave one by one. My mother tried to hug me as she passed. I pulled away. Honey, please. I'm not your honey anymore, Mom, I said in a voice I didn't recognize. I stopped being that the day you decided my happiness was an embarrassment. When the door closed, Michael held me. I cried like I hadn't in years, not from sadness, but relief. Finally, someone had defended my worth, put my dignity above everything. Do you regret it? I asked him. Regret what? Marrying the most valuable woman I know? Building a real family with you. He looked into my eyes. Never. They lost an extraordinary daughter. I gained an extraordinary wife. There's no comparison. That night, as we gathered the gifts they left, I found a note from my mother under the purse. Please forgive us. We were wrong. I tore it up without finishing it. Some apologies come too late. Some wounds are too deep. For the first time in years, I felt whole. I no longer needed their validation or conditional love. I had something better, a family who chose me for who I am, not what I have. 6 months later, the consequences rippled out. Ryan was fired from his job. His boss, who saw the humiliation on Instagram, said, "We don't want people with that kind of judgment in this company," according to my cousin in a message she later deleted. My parents became social pariahs. At their club's annual charity event, people ignored them. They were seen as greedy fools who bet on the wrong horse, my Aunt Susan said in an awkward call I cut short after 5 minutes. We blocked my entire family on social media. The digital silence became our peace, No more toxic notifications, emotional blackmail, or manufactured drama. Michael burned a letter from my mother without letting me read it. Protection above all else, he said. I didn't argue. Some wounds don't need more salt. We legally changed my last name to his, a symbolic cut of the last tie to that family. The day I signed the papers, I felt freer than ever. The poetic justice was complete. In their desperate search for status and wealth, my family lost everything: their family connection, their social reputation, and any chance of accessing the world they craved. They were left with their poverty of spirit. The real wealth was never Michael's money. It was the dignity I reclaimed, learning that family is chosen, not inherited, and that unconditional love exists, just not always where you expect. Some wounds break you, others rebuild you stronger. This was the latter. I no longer need their validation or wait for their regret. I no longer carry their toxicity. I have a life built on my terms with people who chose me for who I am. That's worth more than all the luxury weddings in the world. So now I ask you, have you ever had to choose between keeping family peace and defending your dignity? Was the cost worth it? Or do you think I should have swallowed my pride and forgiven them? Because after all this, I still wonder if I went too far or not far enough.